could come and talk to us a little bit. Dash actually has a collaboration with Arizona State University. A little bit about Arizona State University. Arizona State University is ranked by US News and World Report as the #1 research university in the United States for innovation. They're ahead of #2 Stanford and #3 MIT. And that's pretty incredible. And they have a history of winning that award. The reason that they do is because Arizona State University, which is my undergrad alma mater, in full disclosure, is very practical about applying technology to the real world and making it useful. And so that's the reason that we chose Arizona State University as our partner for research. We will be partnering with other universities, other research institutions, and news on some of those will be coming out in the coming weeks and months. But I just wanted to share a little bit more about the program at ASU. And so just to start things off, can you tell us a little bit more about Cascade and the blockchain laboratory that Arizona State University just launched and your role with the organization?
Let me start by also saying very happy to be here. And thank you very much for the invitation. Cascade is a Center for Data Engineering, has been in existence now for over a year. We already have multiple companies that are supporting on multiple fronts: data management, data analytics, machine learning, and also cybersecurity or data integrity. I met with you at the beginning of this year and was impressed with your drive and the need and also self-funding model that you had. And obviously, blockchain is something that we have been looking for some time now into. And the project that we have started is, I hope, just one of many that we would be doing for Dash. So Cascade is a group of 20 plus faculties, and on the graduate side, I think we have 1,400 graduate students. So that is a lot of resources to be used in order to address some of the challenges that we might be facing on the blockchain side.
All right, excellent. So could you describe a little bit about the initial research the team is working on right now and why this research is important for emerging technologies like blockchain?
So I think with every complex system, it is important to build foundations or good understanding how it works in order to be able to improve upon it. So the first issue that I saw is, and we have heard of that from multiple speakers, is the question of scalability and how the network itself should be organized and what are the protocols that we need to use in order to ensure that you can support large number of transactions on that network. So that is our first project. We have been working with multiple people from your project team. We are building a simulator which is looking into what is the basically network topology, and you have very specific network topology to deal with. Then what are the propagation time on the network, how many transactions you would be able to pack into specific block. and what does it take basically, or how network will perform if we start increasing the block size, and how many more transactions we can also accommodate.
So basically
within those.
determining what the upper limit is reasonably with the current architecture.
That is one thing, and the second one is finding the optimal mix of really parameters that will improve or give you an idea what is the optimal performance of the network and how you should evolve that in order to keep up with the scalability.
And what are the attributes of the Dash network specifically that make it a good candidate for this type of research? Why are you not doing this with another type of protocol?
So when we started to look into this, the main attribute that Dash had and still has an advantage is this multi-layer network. As Jason said, I have been looking into software defined networks for past 5-6 years, and when I saw that you are not completely flat network, I understood the potentials. And that is why I feel that basically Dash holds promise of solving some of those scalability problems.
And what specifically about that two-tiered network and the incentivization does that really address? And you know, what are the additional things you can do with an incentivized and second tier? You said that when you noticed it was a second tier, that immediately sparked something. What is it?
So we are still in a process of calibrating the network or the simulator. Nevertheless, let me share some early results. So having the second tier, we noticed that basically propagation time of the blocks through that network is 100% faster than if you had just a flat network. What does it mean? It means that basically you are able to issue your blocks faster, and that you are able to support more transactions within given period of time that is going to increase the throughput of the network. So with that results, it is obvious that Dash topology is something that we are very keen to look a little bit deeper into and to calibrate that using real data that we are getting from your core team. Okay?
All right, excellent. So what are some of the principles that you apply as a network topology designer when determining technology research plans for blockchain? What are some of the best research topics that you think should be focused on?
So it is important to understand that basically doing research into something that has already exist is a good thing, because it does help us do things from both ways. It means approach from the top down and look into the architectural principles and what that would imply in terms of topology and also performance. But having the network that is already in operation and that is able to collect statistics and data helps also inform the models and architectures that we are building. So I see this symbiosis very beneficial for both sides. What are the other principles? It is, and I think somebody already mentioned that technology for the sake of technology is not a good principle to follow. It is important to understand business objectives and user preferences. So what I think would be coming from us adds some additional projects that will be basically focusing on how much hashing you really need to secure your network, what is the optimal cocktail of the protocols that will enable also energy efficient operation of the network. So those are the aspects that we will be addressing in forthcoming months.
Okay. And so what are some of the main technology roadblocks that we as an industry need to overcome before blockchain is ready for the mainstream? Because, you know, getting back to your point, this is about making this meet the business objectives.
Yes.
And we want Dash to be scalable
Yeah.
and at a cost that is reasonable for the consumer to use.
Yeah, so on the technology side, I think scalability is one of the main roadblocks, and it is why we are attacking that right from the beginning, looking what does it take to solve that.
And there's actually very little research on this, correct?
Yes, we did a survey of the literature and prior art on blockchain that was published for the past 10 years and found very, very little, if really any. I can't claim that there was not much published papers, but we found very few. Okay, so that is one of the main reasons why we are going after that one first. What are some additional topics? I think, again, I'm not sure that they are completely technology driven because this is very complex system and we have really multiple forces in play. But it is also important to avoid centralization of the network, and that is one of the issues that has to be addressed both on the technology side and on the economic business side. What I mean is that basically how do we make sure that we can build scalable network, not necessarily using custom design nodes, but having ability to reuse technologies and processing power that has many other applications. In my opinion, that will definitely increase the value of the network and openness of the network. So that is one of things that we would be looking next. We also discussed what would be the good way to basically, or how we should look into incentives for master nodes and full nodes to scale this network further. That is, again, both tied up to technology aspects as well as the business aspects. And at the university, we have this ability to really work across multiple schools. So,
and that is starting to happen at this point.
Yeah.
We've been in contact with some of the other schools. There's implications here on the economics behind the masternode incentives. As the network grows and more transactions hit the network, the price is also appreciating. And as the price appreciates, those masternode rewards go up.
Yes.
And so this is not a static problem. We are 100% faster than single-tier networks today. but that will continue to grow in the difference between the performances as masternode owners receive larger and larger rewards that can enable them to buy bigger and bigger hardware. And so we have to work across different disciplines in order to incorporate these different aspects of the economic incentives of the masternodes, the technology that you guys are researching. And we also want to introduce this into the curriculum itself. I have some meetings coming up where we're discussing ways to introduce this into the school system because this technology is important. And right now there's a deficit in terms of what's being taught to students, not just at Arizona State University, across the country, because the university system has not yet grasped the importance of this.
Yeah.
And so it is this cross-disciplinary aspect that is starting to emerge. It starts with one project, but it grows very quickly, and we're very thankful for the cooperation that Arizona State University has provided to the project. It's a great resource. They're 15 minutes away from our offices in Scottsdale, Arizona, so it's very convenient as well for our teams to collaborate. And so I think that Dash Network benefits a lot from this relationship, and hopefully we can make it the same for the university.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah.
Any final comments?
Very happy to be here and very happy to really answer any questions that you might have during lunch break. If it
Well,
is
we
the
actually have a few minutes left.
Oh, okay. I can
3
see
minutes
that now.
about. So if there are any questions, happy to take one or two. The question was, how can we integrate students from the university into these types of
Yeah,
programs?
I think offering internships will be one of good avenues to explore. Students usually look for summer jobs, and that is 3 months that can be extended to 6 months, and that is full-time employment. When they come back to really complete their studies, then they will bring that understanding of the blockchain back into the school and their groups, and that would be an excellent way to inform other students of the opportunities that you might have in the team, okay?
You had a question over here.
I can expand, although the idea might not be that very clear at the moment. It is more about objective to look into that. What I mean with centralization, it is now obvious that you need to have a dedicated hardware and also the special custom design hardware to actively participate in the mining or to be a full node. That is something that I feel is not always the best, because it would be, and especially with the innovation cycle, your custom design hardware or ASICs might not be any more competitive in, say, 6 or really 18 months time frame. And there is very little opportunity for those to be also reused for some other applications. So moving to say, really GPAs, FPGAs, and being able to have the cocktail of protocols that are running on that hardware is going to improve the cost, really effectiveness of initial investment, and then return on the investment too, making basically more affordable for people to join the network and feel useful contributor in the network. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the questions, and thank you to Dr.